Lance Gibbs, one of the best off spinners ever played the game. And to make my debut and to play cricket at the end of their coming, to touch the bottom end of that, you couldn't ask for anything. They were an institution. It's going to school. It's an education, because when you look at them, you know, you can't talk. When you sit in the, when those men sit in the dressing room and they sit and talk, you just sit and listen. And if you could take half an ounce or 0.5%, what they're talking about, you know what you're taking home every day? Knowledge. Knowledge. And that is what played a big part in my career, when you sit and listen to those men. And that's why role models, I believe in it, to have role models. And when you can follow those great people, they set such a great standard for you. They set, you know, they suffered so much. And to set such high standard for you just to walk in and enjoy your life. And that's what they did for us. And to have played in that great West Indies team, to play with, you know, Clive Lloyd as captain, he came in, he enjoyed the success of these chaps. The great Viv Richards, Gordon Greenwich, the 4 fast bowlers, Roberts, Croft, Garner, and then came Marshall, Roberts, you know. And people ask me sometimes, what is the success of that team? You know what is the success? Everybody had pride in that maroon cap. That maroon cap had plenty privileges, what we wore. And we were hungry people. We were playing from day to day for contracts. We were paying from day to day to earn another contract. If I have another successful contract playing for Warwickshire in England, they're going to sign me up for another 3 years. If I have a successful tour, West Indies is going to pick me in the other tour. That's what I used. And every time I walk out the bat, I call it my bank balance. That is what takes me to the bank, my bat. And that's suffering. And that is what the passion we had, how to be hungry. And we know how to be successful. We know how to survive. And that's what I'm saying now, the method what we were brought up in. We were able to fight adverse conditions. We didn't play computer cricket. We played cricket man against man. If conditions tough, I'm going to fight you. Because I know, once I fight that hour, once I fight the second hour, the game belongs to me. Because I'm going to fight you. I'm not going to give up. And forget those great West Indian chaps, and that's the reason, you know, all 11 were blessed when we walk out in that park. And that's the reason, at any one time, no one player take advantage of any situation. The boys, they pull you up. They pull you up like a slack pants. Hey, simmer down. Simmer down. You're only one. You're only one member of this team here. All were blessed. All 11 walking out in that period, all 11 were blessed. And that's why nobody take advantage of situations at times. And don't, and God forbid, don't do nonsense on the cricket field, drop a catch, play a bad shot, bowl nonsense, and come in the dressing room and sit like you don't care. Oh, on the way back to the hotel, you on your own. Nobody talks to you. Nobody talks to you in the dressing room again. You're on your own. Until you say, sorry, I play a bad shot. You go in the meeting and say, I play a bad shot, and that's it. That was the passion of that team. That was the success of that team. And they were great players. They were great. And coming back to talk about great players, talking about great players, I have played against some very, very great players in that period. Gary Sobers, the chapels, you know, you have in that period, I mean, talk about India, you have Gavaskar, Vichy, you go to Pakistan, Majid Khan, Asif Iqbal, Javed Miandar. And those are some of the great players I've played. And spinners, oh my God. Oh my God. Chandrasekhar, Bishamberi, Prasanna and Venkat. They gave you sleepless nights. And in those periods, you know, you're playing in India, you're walking out, 40,000, 50,000 people screaming. India walking out on the field. And you know, sometimes, you know, the normal sequence is when a team walk out on the field, you see the fast bowlers warming up, the four spinners warming up as they walk up. And then these Brazilian batsmen shitting themselves there, man. Oh boy. You know? And don't forget about the wicket. From day one, after the second over, you know the white chalk, that when you're batting, after the second over you don't see it again. And most of Karachi and Bombay and Calcutta, you don't see anything again. I remember playing in Madras in a test match. And for 4 days, the wicket was green because they had a lot of rain and preparation was very, very minimal. So the wicket was still green. And 4 days the quick bowlers were in control. India needed 250 to win on the last day. Went to Chipak Stadium on the 5th day. And I thought it was in the wrong ground. The greenness would turn to that thing. They brought all the cows from Madras to eat that. All the cows, man, not one was spared. Everything was gone. India won it easy, you know. And then come to Pakistan. When you talk about spinners, they talk about this Shane Warne and some of them. Abdul Qadir is the best spinner I played against him. Against Abdul Qadir, best. Googly leg break, the same thing. And everybody, in that period, everybody said the same thing. And had it not been for the fast bowlers that have played for Pakistan, Abdul Qadir would have been a record breaker. And Majid Khan, for me, he's one of the greatest players ever seen. If Majid was hungry like Javed, he would have been a record breaker, not Javed. Javed is a street fighter. Majid was too soft. He scored 100. He had so much time to play. He made life look so easy. You know, even as an opposition player, when you look at Majid batting, you didn't want him to get out. That's how good he was. But he wasn't hungry. But for me, I was glad to play the game against the Australians. Most of the Australians. Oh my God, Australians. You know?
Dennis Lilly.
Right, I'll tell a story about that. During that same innings, you know, when you're playing at that level, and more so when you play against Australians, you've got to lift your tempo. You've got to raise your game 100% to what you are. If you can't raise your game, they're going to kill you. They kill you. And that's the difference when people ask me sometimes about the great players and the mediocre players. The difference between mediocre players and the great players is the great players are able to lift the game up. Mediocrity remains. They're not able to raise the game. The great players lift the game. That's the difference. But coming back to the point, he was bowling at me, and after the two of us had the confrontation, he bowled one bouncer to me, and then it pitched short, and then Rodney Myers caught it to the far end of the ground. And when he looked in front of me, he was in front of me. He said, "Hit that, you black bastard." I said, "I didn't realize kangaroos are blind too." Yeah, I didn't realize kangaroos are blind. He said, "Why do you call me a blind kangaroo?" I said, "Look, I am Indian. The black one is the other side." You know, and that was it. That was it. We used to. That is what we used to play with. You know, we play with mental aggression, aggressive as much as you want to. But you know, when you talk about tension on the field, and most of it is swearing and everything, that was going on from day one. Now it's controlled. It's controlled now. In the past, the first test match I played against Australia in Brisbane, in the first 10 minutes, my mother was pregnant 10 times. You get it back and front. Yeah. That's how the aggression they use against you. And that's why to play against Australia, you really have to lift your game up. And when the greatest thing ever happened to us was going back there in 1979-80 and beat them in their own backyard. The first time West Indies have ever beaten them in their backyard. Yeah. And from then on, we took over the mantelpiece. Right? And when we finished that period, when West Indies was just slipping, Pakistan was the other best team in the world. They should have been the team. They had the best bowlers, fast bowlers in the world. Imran, Wasim Akram, Wakar. No, Safraz was sleeping by then. Yeah. No, then. And then you have the leg spinners, Mushtaq Ahmad, Saklin. Any side who have 5 quality bowlers like that. And the batting was superb. Javid was still on top of his game. Alu was, you know, and all these Japanese. Right? But what happened? The bad problem in Pakistan, they killed themselves mentally in the field, in the dressing room first. They beat each other in the dressing room. By the time they're able to fight the opposition, they're mentally tired. That was their problem. You know? I know we're running short of time, and I could go on and on and on. I'll have to save the next phase, like being a property dealer. You know? The next phase. Going to come next season. But I know you're running out of time here, and I want to say thank you for inviting me here tonight. And one thing I'm proud of, I'm proud as an Indian, to born out of India, to maintain the Indian culture, and to have played the game for West Indies as an Indian. Thank you.